Hey guys, this is a quick little refresher or tutorial on how to group shapes together. So, wherever you're at, if you need to remember how to do this, I'm going to just do something really quickly that I think I've shown all of you in class before. So I'm going to pick this drop and I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to paste it, Control V. So remember, for the project we're doing, you have to keep it in proportion. It needs to be scaled proportionally. So hold the Shift key and you can resize as needed to make it smaller or bigger. You can hover outside of the corners to get that bent arrow, and you can rotate your shapes as needed. Okay, so whatever shape you have, it doesn't matter if you're doing this along with me, cool. If you're doing something else, you're gonna just find a way to make it fit together. So I'm gonna make a copy of the one that I just resized. So Control C, and I'm gonna paste it. So now I have two. And like I've said before, an approach that is good to take with this is kind of like when you're outside and you're looking up at the sky and you see some clouds, and then your brain starts to kind of find shapes and images in there. That works really well for this project to kind of get you going, because you're limited only by your creativity. So, and a lot of creativity comes from just, um, messing around with what you have. So you have very strict rules, and you're very limited in what you can use. And you guys are already doing a really awesome job. So kind of relax a little bit. And so what I'm going to do, this one's a pretty easy one to see. If I rotate this shape around a little bit, you will see, and I move them together, it creates a heart. So, um, but, so I made a new shape using just this one. But if I wanted to do anything with this, if I wanted to move it, so I have a heart, which is cool, but what if I wanted it over here? What if I wanted multiple ones? By grouping shapes together, you can eliminate a whole bunch of work. So, also if I wanted to change the color of this, I would have to come here and I would, pick the pink, and then I'd have to come over here and try to find the same one. So much easier to just group them. So, and the way that you do that is you're going to use the Shift key again here. So I have this one selected. Hold the Shift key on the keyboard and then select the other one. And this can be, for right now, it's just two shapes. But if you're holding the Shift key, you could click on 25 shapes that are all together that you want to be glued. And there's no limit. It's just depending on what use you have for them. So I have them selected. You can come up to Object, or you can do the same thing by just right clicking. I think you'll probably find that to be faster. So right click and then just come to Group. And you're literally just saying, I'm sticking these together, like treat this as one. So now I can move it around and it stays together. You see over here with the fill, it has a question mark because it's like, I don't know what to tell you. You have a couple. So now it's going to fill it with just one color. It's treating, Illustrator is now treating this as one shape. You can see, like, I get a little finicky with, so if I were to move on, I would ungroup them and I would fix this. So, this is a good way to show you how to ungroup things. So right click and have it selected, right click, and you'll see instead of group, it's ungroup is your option. So I'm going to ungroup it, and what I would do is I would mess with that a little bit to get rid of so I need to rotate it slightly. So this goes into your craftsmanship, which is a part of your grade that you would want to have. You want to have those shapes like nice and clean. You're going to spend your time doing this. Do it well. So, so that's okay. So that's a good good reason to have to ungroup things. So this now, these are two shapes. So I could go back, click, hold shift, click again on the other shape, and again, put them back together. So I can group them. I fixed it, I grouped them back to one heart. So why do you want to do this? This cuts out a whole bunch of time, especially if you're going to reuse a shape over and over. I could make like an army of hearts or a swarm of them, depending on, some of you are making characters. So I could hit Control C to copy, and I could paste. I can, now I can, it's really easy. I just took a whole bunch of work out for myself. So I could change the color. I could hold shift and I could resize it. I could put a little heart inside of a big heart. I could group these two together. So say like, I want these to now function as just one. So I could hold the shift key. These are already selected, and then I could select the ones behind it. You see everything is in blue. Right click and then group. So I'm grouping groups. Hopefully that doesn't confuse you. And then when I move it, it all functions as one. However, now if I copy and paste, so just keep that in mind that if I wanted to change anything, I'd have to ungroup it. If I wanted this color to be different, I'd have to ungroup that. So you guys are only limited by your creativity. I know, like if you were to put, I showed you guys how to put like a whole bunch of something like this together. And if you wanted to make, say, a background, this is a place where you would want to reflect this. So I'd want to turn it so it was a reflection of this one. Just real fast to refresh, you right click and go to transform and reflect, and then make sure you're picking whether it's horizontal or vertical. I want it vertical, and I could then connect them. And if I were to select both of these, I can group those together and copy and paste, and I can go right along and make a whole section of this pattern. So if I wanted something, if I wanted, it to look like waves, might be a good thing to use. So I have a whole line of here. I would group these as well. So I have a group here. I'm going to hold the shift key, group, and then I'm going to group my groups. So hopefully that's not confusing. I can change the color. So now I have this one whole line. Copying that and pasting it is really easy. And then if I change the color, I have a whole bunch of options. So hopefully that just opened up a whole bunch of really cool things that you can do. Save yourself some time and really get into your composition, whether you're going the like abstract, strictly shape and color focus, or you're doing the representational where you're doing something recognizable. Either one, this stuff is going to be really helpful, and I hope that this helps you and that you have fun.